We were all pretty stoked when we found out that Battlefront 2 wouldn't have a season pass. Now, while EA have come out and actually retracted that statement, the chances are that we still won't be getting a season pass per se. Don't get me wrong though, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will undoubtedly have DLC, but if we aren't getting a season pass, there will be something to replace it. DICE have said that they don't want to split the community this time around. And what that means is that it's a lot less likely we'll be sold exclusive game modes and maps. Instead, they'll be focusing on gameplay. This means guns, abilities, heroes, as well as cosmetics. Stuff that can be exclusive without dividing the player base. So today, I'll be taking an in-depth look at what they could sell to us as microtransactions, as well as if this is acceptable or not. Let me first say that I think microtransactions are a suitable way to go, as long as they are done right. If the game becomes pay to win, then that makes it much harder for casual players or people without the funds to throw away on video games. And it also kills the player base. But without further ado, let's look at what we could be seeing as microtransactions in Star Wars Battlefront 2. First off, we have cosmetics. Now this is completely fine because generally these are cheap and they're purely visual elements that are added to the game and they don't affect the gameplay. They're simply there to allow players to add a bit of spice and character to their guns and to their heroes. These could include things like emotes, gun skins, and different outfits for your player and your heroes. As long as they add a decent pool of skins and emotes with the game, and they don't make players feel as though they have to make additional purchases to be unique, cosmetic transactions are fine and they're lots of fun for the players. The second type of microtransactions we could see are for weapons and abilities. Now, while this is knocking on the door of the pay to win model, I don't think this is an issue if they do take it with the right approach. We know that in Battlefront 2 we are getting a progression system, and looking at the pre-order bonuses for Battlefront 2, there are abilities there that are listed as epic. Now this makes me think that players will be able to upgrade their abilities to certain levels, which makes them more effective in battle. Say we have 5 levels. For example, we have common, uncommon, unique, epic, and legendary. What I don't want to see is players being able to buy their way straight to the top of the pack and getting legendary abilities. Those types of abilities need to be unlocked by players who grind and actually play the game. However, I wouldn't mind mid-tier abilities being sold as microtransactions. Say they only sold up to the unique level. They are only getting abilities that players could unlock in a week or two of consistent playing. But then to unlock legendary abilities, everyone has to put in the grind. I think this is an acceptable way to balance out the players who play a lot with the players who can't play as much but still want to compete. By no means, however, should anyone be able to buy their way to the top. With guns and attachments, these might be better if they're kept as in-game unlocks. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we got weapon packs or individual weapons sold as microtransactions as well. The worst thing that could happen is DICE selling really OP weapons or weapon modifiers that make your gun more powerful, because that is then pay to win and that just isn't fun. Finally, we have heroes. Now, I know that a lot of you are hoping that all the heroes will be free. However, I do not think this will be the case, but let me explain to you why this is 10 times better than the previous game's DLC heroes. If DICE aren't selling us maps and game modes, it means the heroes can be sold individually without any other content. This makes it cheaper, and it also means that you don't have to buy a full DLC pack just to get that one hero who you really want to play as. If they sell a bunch of heroes, you can choose which ones you want to buy and which ones you want to skip. And I think this is a much better way of going about it. For players who want all of the heroes, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of hero pass for Battlefront 2 where we can buy them all in one big go. I think this might be why DICE have been a bit iffy about the whole no season pass thing, because I could definitely see a seasonal hero pass being sold, which is essentially the same type of thing but just with a different label. However, I do think this is much better because it doesn't divide the players. As long as we get a lot of heroes upon launch, and that heroes are sold at no more than $5 to $10 each, this is fair on DICE's part and it allows more flexibility for the players. So let's just do a really quick recap. On the screen I've got a table of what's okay and what isn't okay in terms of microtransactions. On the okay side we have cosmetics. These are fine, these are just a little bit of fun added to the game. We have low to mid-level abilities, so not allowing players to skip all the way to the top of the progression system, but maybe just allowing them to go a couple of levels up from the base level, just so they don't have to spend that extra time playing if they don't have the time. We have simple gun packs, so maybe if we're just selling base guns, then that's acceptable because players can choose whether they want to buy these guns or not, but we can't see really OP weapons being sold, and we also can't see damage modifiers being sold. Last, we have heroes who can be sold individually at fairly low prices. This is completely fine in my books. If we get to choose which heroes we want, say I want to buy Mace Windu and Darth Maul, and I also want to get General Grievous, but I don't want anyone else, I can buy those three, spend the $15 to $30 on those heroes, and then don't have to buy any more heroes at all, don't have to spend any more money. That's completely fine. However, on the not okay side, we've got top tier abilities. So this is like your legendary, really high level abilities that can only be unlocked by hours and hours of play. I don't want to see players being able to skip the progression system completely. I think that's completely unfair and it's going to ruin the experience of leveling up and unlocking stuff. We also have gun modifiers, or anything that could increase damage or effectiveness of weapons in battle. I don't want to see players being able to straight away purchase guns that are way more powerful than anyone else has in the game. That's just not fair. I think these should be kept to unlock in-game. And last, we have hero packs that lock heroes in groups rather than individually. I don't want to see 4 heroes being sold in one hero pack and then players being forced to buy 4 heroes when they only want one of those heroes. That's just not fair. I want to see individual heroes and then the option to have a full hero pass for those who are going to get all the heroes. We also don't want to see the heroes being too expensive. They can't really sell us these as too expensive. They have to be cheap, or then people just won't buy all the heroes. So I would like to see heroes be somewhere between the $5 and $10 range. So that's what I think we could see in terms of microtransactions. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button to support the channel. If you didn't, leave a dislike and a comment down below and let me know how I can improve. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.